You are watching Cold Fusion TV.
Hey, welcome to another Cold Fusion video. DeGogo here. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the Note 4, what it means for Samsung, and what it means for the industry as a whole. So you probably already know that the Note series started out as an experiment to make the most of the smartphone by utilizing the form factor of a small tablet computing device. But in recent months, the market is getting especially crowded. And with Apple looking to get into the market, we're going to see a whole lot of new people pay attention to this form factor. So after the Dell streak, it was Samsung that really created this market space. And in saying that, a large part of their future potential market depends on what happens in the next 6 months. I say this because Apple seems to be putting quite a lot of thought into their 5.5-inch iPhone 6, according to all sources anyway. Sources also say that it's going to have an Apple A8 chip and NFC finally, so this makes things pretty interesting, and the phone-tablet playing ground may be a bit less one-sided this time round. So moving back to Samsung, I was actually starting to get a little bit bored with their devices, but the Note 4 this time round actually surprised me a little bit. It seems that Samsung has fully put their weight behind the Note series for the first time. As I mentioned earlier, the Note series was just an experiment, but now it seems to have fully matured. The main thing that Samsung did was listen to the feedback from their customers. What do I mean by this? Well, firstly, let's take a look at the design. At first glance, you may think that this pretty much looks like the Note 3, and I don't blame you for it. But upon closer inspection, you can actually see the differences and the improvements. They've listened to customer feedback for the build quality gripes. For the first time ever on a flagship Samsung device, there's an actual metallic trim, kind of like the original HTC One. I haven't picked it up in my hands yet, but every reviewer is saying that it makes a world of difference. But this is obviously expected when you use higher tier materials. The screen is now QHD, which only really makes sense for virtual reality of course, and in addition to this, it's 2.5D, which means that it's slightly curved, which adds to the aesthetics and also the feel of the phone. The fake leather stitching is gone from the rear, and the camera has optical image stabilization, something that we've been desiring for a year. And of course it comes with the latest Snapdragon 805 and 3GB of RAM. So for the first time, it's not the most powerful mobile chipset upon release. The Nvidia Tegra K1 still holds the upper edge of course, but that thing is just out of everyone's league though. There's also been double the S Pen pressure sensitivity, better battery life, and rapid charge from 0 to 50% in 30 minutes. There's some other pretty cool features like a wide angle front facing camera, heart rate monitor as a shutter button, and very smart software recognition for visual text. And Samsung are also taking their Note-specific features further to their full potential. Multitasking now seamlessly goes into floating windows, with chat head bubbles on minimization. This is something that we really should have seen from the beginning, and it provides much more freedom and flexibility for the user. The supported app lists for these functions are growing, and you can have up to 16 apps functioning in this mode at one time. Now this probably would be only most useful in landscape mode and on an external monitor. But all of this aside, there is one thing that tells me without a doubt that Samsung is thinking. This comes in the form of Samsung throwing their weight into the partnership with Oculus and John Carmack. Yes, I'm talking about the Gear VR headset.
We've designed Gear VR especially for innovative consumers and developers who, with the support of Samsung, will move virtual reality to the bold next new level.
So all you need to do is you put your Note 4 right in, like we did, and you put on the headset, just like you did, and now you're ready to go anywhere.
Now I'm seeing this for the first time, so I'm just going to describe, hopefully there's something like what I'm seeing behind me. There's people here. You're now a woman in a tutu. Whoever said that voice. I've got a couple of acrobats in front of me, and it's like I'm in a theatre. It's like I'm there, because I can turn around now. All I'm watching is empty seats and back, and they're carrying on. I mean, it's incredible.
So what you're seeing is a 360-degree virtual reality just by turning your head.
It's keeping up with my movements as well. There's absolutely no lag. The screen is amazing. I mean, and the sparkles on his outfit.
As Rachel's almost there, we're going to have to take that off.
Take it off.
We might have to continue the show.
Back in the room.
Okay.
Thank you, Rachel.
So it's fabulous. I mean, there's so many hyperboles I could use.
This is pretty exciting and does show some real potential. There are already 8 software developers on board for games, and plenty more for movies and other exclusive content. But I think I'll leave the VR headset, what it means for the mobile community, and an explanation of John Carmack for another video. So please stay tuned for that one, and I might as well say subscribe already if you haven't. So moving on, a few of you may be wondering what my thoughts are on the Note Edge, and for me personally, I think it's a bit of a quirky device and the pricing strategy is incorrect to be priced above the Note 4. And people who use the phone with a dexterous hand that covers up the curved edge will be finding it very difficult to actually use the device at all. So in conclusion, Samsung has put their best foot forward because they know that Apple is hot on their heels, and this tablet phone marketplace will not stay open forever. So the next 6 months are going to be pretty interesting, so we're going to have to wait and see the sales figures from Samsung and Apple and see who actually comes forth in the tablet phone industry for this time around. And I want to actually know your thoughts on what Apple is doing, if you're interested in that, or if you think the Galaxy Note 4 was too much like the Galaxy Note 3 and you don't really see any reason to upgrade, or were you like me and actually quite happy with the build quality of the Note 4? So I just want to know your thoughts, and I'll leave the comment section open for you guys. So before I go, I just want to mention my last video on Google Drones. Watch that if you haven't already, it's quite interesting. And also, my EP is coming out on the 10th of September, so the link's going to be in the description below, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, that's enough from me, and I'll see you again soon for the next video. Cheers guys.
Cold Fusion. It's new thinking.